It sounds simple at first, almost too simple. Just don't eat for a certain number of hours and eat during a specific window. That's it. No complicated diet plan, no strict food restrictions, no expensive supplements, just timing. This is what people call intermittent fasting, and over the past few years, it has become one of the most popular health trends in the world. Some people say it changed their life. Some say it helped them lose weight. Some say it improved their energy. And others say it didn't work at all. So what's the truth? Is intermittent fasting really effective? Or is it just another health trend that got exaggerated? Let's break it down like a doctor would explain it, without hype, without confusion, just biology. First, you need to understand one simple thing. Your body is always in one of two states, a fed state or a fasting state. When you eat, your body enters the fed state. It uses glucose for energy, stores excess energy, and digestion becomes active. When you don't eat for a while, your body slowly shifts into a fasting state. And during this state, something important happens. Your insulin levels drop. Insulin is the hormone that stores energy. So when insulin is low, your body has easier access to stored fat. This is where the idea of fat burning comes from. But here's where most people misunderstand it. Fasting does not magically burn fat. It simply changes your body's energy source over time. Now let's go deeper. One of the biggest benefits of intermittent fasting is giving your body a break from constant eating. Because modern eating patterns look like this: breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner, late snack. Your body is almost never resting. Insulin is constantly being activated, and digestion is always working. Over time, this can affect energy balance. Now when you introduce fasting, something changes. Your body gets time to reset. Insulin levels drop, energy regulation stabilizes, and hunger hormones adjust. Now let's talk about hunger. At first, fasting can feel difficult. You may feel hunger cravings, low energy. But here's something important. Hunger is not always real hunger. Sometimes it is habit. Your body is used to eating at certain times, so it sends signals based on routine, not actual need. And this is where fasting becomes interesting, because over time, those signals begin to adjust. Your body learns a new rhythm, and hunger becomes more stable. Now let's talk about weight loss. Intermittent fasting can help some people lose weight, but not because of fasting itself, because of reduced eating window. When you have fewer hours to eat, you often consume fewer calories naturally, without strict counting. That's the main mechanism. Now here's what doctors emphasize. It is not magic, it is structure. Now let's talk about metabolism. A common myth is fasting slows metabolism. But short-term fasting does not slow metabolism significantly. In fact, some studies show slight increases in fat oxidation during fasting periods. But long-term extreme restriction is different. That's why balance matters. Now let's talk about who may benefit. Some people respond well to intermittent fasting. Those who overeat frequently. Those with irregular eating patterns. Those looking for simple structure. But it is not necessary for everyone. Now let's talk about who should be cautious. Fasting may not be suitable for people with certain medical conditions, pregnant or breastfeeding women, people with history of disordered eating, those with low energy issues, because one size does not fit all. Now let's address another important point. Fasting does not override poor food choices. You cannot fast for 16 hours, then eat highly processed, high-sugar foods and expect optimal health. Quality of food still matters, a lot. Now let's talk about the biggest misconception. Many people think fasting is what causes weight loss, but in reality, calorie balance still matters. Fasting is just a tool that can help control intake. Now let's go deeper into how the body adapts. When fasting is done consistently, your body becomes more efficient at switching between energy sources. This is called metabolic flexibility, meaning your body can use glucose, stored fat, more efficiently depending on availability. Now let's talk about energy. Some people report higher energy during fasting. Why? Because digestion requires energy. When you are not constantly digesting, that energy is redirected. But this is not universal. Some people feel tired initially because adaptation takes time. Now let's talk about brain function. Some research suggests fasting may influence mental clarity, focus, cognitive stability. But again, individual response varies. Now let's be honest, intermittent fasting is not a miracle. It is not superior to all other diets. It is simply a pattern of eating. And like any pattern, it works well for some people and not for others. Now let's zoom out. The most important factor in health is not timing alone. It is consistency. Consistency in food quality, movement, sleep, stress management. Fasting is just one piece of a larger system. Now let's talk about sustainability. The best diet is the one you can maintain, not the one that works for a week, but the one you can follow without stress. Now here's the key takeaway doctors often emphasize. You don't need intermittent fasting to be healthy, but if it helps you, eat better, reduce overeating, create structure, then it can be useful. Now let's bring everything together. Intermittent fasting is not about starvation. It is about timing. It is not about restriction alone. It is about rhythm. And your body responds to rhythm, but only when it is sustainable. Now let's close with clarity. There is no perfect diet for everyone. There is only what works for your body and your lifestyle. So instead of asking, is intermittent fasting good or bad? A better question is, does this eating pattern help me feel better, more stable, and more in control? Because health is not about trends. It is about understanding your body and working with it, not against it.